We understand an upside-down world. But they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will. Because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. And feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more. Because we have an appointment with destiny.
What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. Thank you again, as always, to the California Army National Guard. We are always appreciative of all their support. Please check out everything they are doing. Please also give a big welcome to our guest. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that smiling face. Here, he is back.
Yes, baby.
Baseball season is here.
How many years have we been doing this for, bro?
This will be show year number 6.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive.
You sent out a photo that was 5 years ago of us doing a pre-show thing at Your Cages. So we've gone through the iterations of Your Cages,
Amazing.
Then the 1090 Studios, and then here. And yeah, so Dave Ring is here. He is now officially DR Player Development. That is another sign of how long we've been together. Is it has gone from Canyon Side Cages to David Ring hitting to DR Player Development. Follow him on primarily Instagram, but also hit up his YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything for DR hitting. He is the official guy of all things offensive baseball. He does not like pitching. He likes hitting the pitching. Dave's going to bring us, as always, his signature Dave's Dingers all season long, but also just a general commentary. Dave, good to have you back. Happy baseball season.
Thank you. I'm excited, man. This is going to be fun. This season's shaping up to be like exciting, but the rain has kind of pushed some of this stuff back. So hopefully we can keep the season on a roll here moving forward.
You were talking about how the top 10 mathematically on some of the websites looks a little awkward right now.
Right.
Because some areas, as you said, have been more and less blessed by rains. And I was thinking back, it feels like there's always been a weekend that gets a little bit of rain right around the beginning of baseball season.
Right.
The last 5 years of San Diego baseball. All right, great. But this definitely seems like we're actually entering into, some teams are like 3 or 4 games ahead.
Right.
And that, not the hugest thing in a baseball season, but that sometimes for some teams in the middle of a playoff hunt, 3 or 4 extra games could have meant a lot. So we'll be curious to see how that has some ripple effects on the season. But for right now, it also has affected the top 10. You got to go a little bit more off gut. Got to go a little bit more off instinct. I will read off what Bodie De Silva had as the Scorebook Live top 10. But Dave, you have your top 10 right now for everybody. So tell us how you see it right now.
Yeah, it's probably going to be similar to Bodie. It's based on, the few games we've seen. Teams are pretty strong still from last year, bringing back a lot of players. Number 1 for me is Granite Hills. They're still incredibly strong up and down the lineup. LCC is number 2 for me. They got a humongous transfer from San Marcos by the name of Kalen Applefield, so he's contributing huge right now. Eastlake 3, Saints 4, RB, I'll put them at 5, Cathedral 6, Torrey 7, Carlsbad at 8, Scripps Ranch 9, and I'll throw in Christian at 10 there. The start for me that's most impressive is Scripps Ranch. I've seen them go 3-0 to start. They're scrappy, man. They beat Patrick Henry. I mean, going into the season, you look at their lineup and it's not, like the East Lakes and the LCCs, man. But they, like I said, get it done. Scrappy team. Congrats to them on the 3-0 start. So they're in the top 10 to start, and should be interesting.
Patrick Henry, Saints, and Cathedral are the 3 differences that Bodie has on his top 10 versus yours. I've seen Patrick Henry square off against Torrey Bynes already this year. So, yeah, they could very well be in that mix. To me, the top 10 right now is more like top 17 or 18 when I really went to pencil it down. Because I do believe somewhat separate from the rest of the group that sometimes like a smaller high-tech Chula Vista or whatever could be a top 10 hypothetically in baseball more readily than it can be in a football or basketball during the year. I think my big disagreement also is just how's everybody going to put the defending champs at 2 and not 1? Like you gotta have LCC at the number 1 slot there because they are the defending champs until otherwise proven. I know that they lost right out the gate, but it's a weird start to the season. Baseball has all sorts of ups and downs. Bodie Da Silva, as we mentioned, is not here with us, but if you want to follow everything he's doing, you can follow along with the SB Live Sports app or visit scorebooklive.com. You can also follow him at SD Preps on social. Dave, do you have game balls and dingers to get to?
We've been playing enough games, and we've got to done
let's
bunch
talk
of
game.
dingers.
You want to go dingers or game balls first?
Let's start with dingers first.
Let's start with, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the first edition
We back,
this
baby.
season. We back of Dave's Dingers.
Thanks again for having me, Christian.
Hell yeah, man.
One of my most fun parts of the week. I'm going to start it off with a couple of my guys. Point Loma hit a few back-to-back dingers. Kean Barker and Jordan Ochin went back-to-back against CCA. Really kept the momentum flowing for them through that game there. Eastlake catcher Nico Lebed has 2 big flies this season. He's a USD commit. Nothing but good things to say about this kid. His leadership skills on the field and off the field are going to help him really contribute to USD moving forward here. 2023, Anthony Box. He's over at Grossmont. 2 dingers so far. Dude is hot. Grossmont's off to a slightly tough start, but he's their hot hitter. Brett Williams, San Marcos. He's a St. Mary's commit. He's got 2 home runs. The ball absolutely flying this year at San Marcos High. I'm sure we're going to be listing a ton of guys.
Every year at San Marcos. Single year at San Marcos. There's something aerodynamically designed. We should put this on the poll at SD Prep Insider.
There you go.
Is San Marcos second only to Coors Field in ballpark in home runs per ballpark capita? The dingers there always routinely lead the county. Keep going.
Not to mention, like I said, Kalen Applefield off to a little slow start in winter ball from what I heard, but man, he hit 2 absolute bombs so far this year. He's a Cal baseball commit. I mean, I can just keep rattling off these hitters that are committed to D1 baseball. Last guy I got, Jack Hafferkamp, SFC. He hit an absolute nuke for his first bomb. He's a UCSB commit. Be on the lookout for this guy. Could be a possible draft pick along with a couple other guys. Jack Hafferkamp is a big boy, man. When he gets in the box, I've seen him in the cage too. He smashes baseballs.
I say this on other versions of this podcast. That sentence right there is why we wait for this part. This is our year. This is our version of like why Texas cares about football. This is why we care about baseball. Is that sentence right there? Is that Jack Hafferkamp could potentially play himself into a draft pick this year?
He's a dude, man. And like I said, there are some other guys on the radar this year. If you
goon, man.
If you look up and down the lineup, I mean, each school has guys. Granite Hills, Eastlake, Saints. Saints has a couple guys that could probably get drafted out of high school. You look at MJ Sweeney.
Sweeney is enormous.
The dude is an absolute beast. I'm going to give him a game ball later, but there are
are you done with dingers? Can we go to game balls?
Let's do it, man.
All right,
so game balls, I got 4 game balls. I wanted to shout out Kevin Takeuchi. This dude hit for the freaking cycle in a game that
did it in order too.
5-1 win, right? And talk about putting the team on your back.
He's a USC commit, and I might have spoken over you. Rancho Bernardo, yes?
Yes. RB commit, or RB high, USC commit. Like I said, almost every dude that I got on my list is committed to a D1 school here. The Broncos will play 2 games against Mission Hills coming up here. So if you're looking to find some games to watch, hopefully go check the RB squad out. AJ Klubeck, he's over at Westview. My guy has got the sweetest lefty swing here. He's committed to San Diego State. Off to an incredibly hot start. 533, 5 doubles. That's in like a few games. We've only played a few games. Got 5 doubles already. On fire. I've got 2023 Daniel Mora. He's getting a game ball out of Eastlake. This guy is an absolute stud. From what I can tell, he's wreaking havoc during games. He's got 12 RBIs, 10 runs, 7 stolen bases. I mean, absolutely leading Eastlake to, one of the hotter starts in all of the San Diego squads here. Grayson Kellerman, he's over at St. Augustine. Wanted to shout him out along with MJ Sweeney. They had huge games against Francis Parker. They walloped them 18-5. Listen to this. MJ Sweeney went 3 for 4, 2 triples, a double with 5 RBIs. Have a day, buddy. And then Grayson Kellerman. Grayson Kellerman, really on the come up this year. He's a senior, a guy that's probably one of their biggest leaders, really composed in the box. He went 2 for 3 with a triple, double, and he also had 5 RBIs. So 2 dudes, 10 RBIs total. Congrats on the game balls, boys. I'm excited to keep watching some more baseball, man.
Hell yeah. All right. I want to talk a little bit of my version of the game balls. I want to start with a web gem that you may have seen. Some of these will be shameless plugs to go check out these corresponding videos on our social media. What can I say? I live and die by the gram, man. Go check us out on social media at SD Prep Insider. Did you see the diving play from Alan Camarillo?
Yes.
At Otay Ranch? I love me an unassisted anything, but an unassisted double play up middle. Otay is a team that is out the gate pretty hot, and Allen's going to be a big part of that if he can keep strong up the middle. So game ball to him for a win there. Another team down in the South Bay is Montgomery. They are 4-0 this season so far. Khalil Perez, you probably saw his walk-off home run earlier this week. I think that might have been last weekend. That was a definite dinger moonshot, of course. I bring up Montgomery because their basketball team makes the Open Division Finals. Their baseball team is hot out the gate, could make an Open Division run. Like, low-key, Montgomery kind of the center of high school sports right now. And want to put some obvious respect on the name as an institution here so that no one can check our bona fides down the road. So a game ball out to Khalil specifically for that home run, but also to Montgomery for a big week. I'm glad that you brought up Nico Libet. I wanted to bring him up if you had not. So that was a big home run to see. I love seeing kids that have been starters since freshmen grow kind of into physically their bodies a little bit and start
big time leader.
Start really producing, and that's good to see him there. Finally, let's give game ball out to River Scott from RBV. He's going to be one of the big pitchers to watch this year. He's already into double-digit strikeouts through 2 starts this year. So,
Did you mention Alan Camarillo has made his commitment recently to Azusa Pacific?
Yes, he is committed to Azusa Pacific.
So wanted to say congrats to him. Such a good dude, man. He's worked so hard these last 4 years. I mean, got a chance to see him in the cage and watch him, man. Congrats to you. I wanted to bring up just like a few topics to finish the day. Like,
let's go.
Dude, there's a guy that pitches for Carlsbad by the name of Stunner Gonzalez, and the dude is committed to LSU, supposedly throwing this weekend or this Friday. Guess he just blows cheddar. 93. I think he's a junior from what I can tell. Stunner class of 2024. So that would mean he's not even a senior yet. Committed to LSU. We've also got a few freshmen by the name of Hunter and Alex Harrington that have actually made the Cathedral varsity team. First freshmen to ever make Cathedral's varsity baseball team.
Oh, okay.
Committed to Stanford baseball as 8th graders. And now going to contribute to a team that's young, but I mean, these guys can absolutely bring it. If you were watching last week on a fly ball to dead center, Alex Harrington was at second base, and he tagged up and scored on a fly. It was like a deep fly ball.
At Cathedral?
At Cathedral. Tagged up and scored. Dude's got like
wheels.
Absolute wheels. So both of them do.
That's Ricky Henderson wheels.
Yeah. Pretty incredible. So just wanted to shout out. Those guys are going to be on our radar for the next 4 years. We're
going to need to add commitment shout outs as a weekly segment because
it's unreal right now.
We could pepper in like 5 a show and not get to all of them all season long. There's so much good talent in San Diego this year.
Pretty proud to be part of this community and get a chance to watch all these guys grow, man. It's incredible.
Let's go. It's a great year for this. All right, what other topics you got?
That was I wanted to just mention a couple guys that are just not game ball ready yet because they
down on the farms.
Yeah, these are farm guys that I think big reason why we're going to see certain teams just absolutely blow teams out of the water. Like a Carlsbad's going to shut down a really good hitting team one day, and we're all going to wonder why. And it's going to be because of that guy that we talked about earlier. So, yeah, I think that's another segment that I wanted to kind of add into this year, like a player spotlight, where it was just a couple of guys that no one's really talking about, but everyone on our show, but everyone kind of knows about and, on the radar moving forward. So
if I can close out with a couple of topics, I just want to update. I'm always curious about the transition from championships, because normally now a championship winning team means you're going up a division. So things are going to fundamentally change a little bit. Out the gate right now, Mission Bay, 3-1. Apologies for doing this on the fly. Palo Verde Valley is 3-4. So that's where you're saying some teams are playing significantly more.
Right.
Canyon.
Yeah, Brawley's been playing a ton for sure.
Academy Baseball. Canyon Crest is 0-3. East Lake we've talked about, and LCC we've talked about. So there you go. Canyon Crest not having the hottest of all the starts, but everyone else hanging in there this year. All right. Next week, Tommy will be back. Bodie will be back. We'll be at full strength. We will have all of the segments and more. Until then, make sure you guys are following Dave everywhere. Have you changed any of the handles, or is it just the...
I'm going to be at DR Hitting all season.
DR Hitting, okay.
Yeah, make it easy on everyone.
Follow him at DR Hitting. Send us your dingers. Send us your triples, your doubles, your singles, your everything. But just send Dave only Solamente the dingers. Or I suppose the Ched. If you bring 95...
a lot of the guys I hit with, they'll make jokes to be like, "Why don't you do like a Dave's doubles segment or like a Dave's singles?" Nah, that's not how we work, man.
Nah. There's a certain threshold. You gotta meet a certain threshold.
I will give you a game ball if you get some doubles, though.
There you go. Yeah. There's a hierarchy to things.
But we can't do Dave's doubles, guys. No, we've already set the bar too high.
No, and Tommy does triples because he likes speed.
I love triples.
And game balls are for everything else.
Exactly.
And yeah, exactly. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty.
Good first show, boys.
Talk to you guys next week.